I don't know where to start. Yesterday night, my first ayahuasca ceremony for this weekend. I was here the last time. All I can say is this time it was much stronger for me. It started out with my first cup of ayahuasca. Slowly, I could feel the sense of vomiting immediately. The taste, terrible taste. But the effects, I'm getting there. Now, I was trying to meditate in the beginning, just focus, letting go. It was slow but beautiful because it was background music and we all just waiting for it to kick in. Now, at the end of the first cup, because you drink the first cup and then 1.5 hours later you can choose to drink the second one. And a lot of people, they fill the first one. They're like, someone told me they drank like half of the first cup of the ayahuasca. I didn't feel that much. I felt a little bit at the end of the first cup. I had some moments of, to explain it, it's just letting go, like not out of body experience, still in my body, but losing the sense of my body. It's like becoming just laying there, becoming awareness itself. Dissolving my ego, but still being there. So I felt that, and immediately the clock rang, and I decided to take my second cup. Now this is where it gets interesting. Some minutes later, I don't know if it was minutes, hour, but a few moments later from the second cup, hell broke loose. I mean, we had the singer inside the room singing. It felt like she activated with the drums, the medicine in my body. I couldn't control anything. Like my body was moving. I was making crazy movements with my body. And then immediately at one point, I started to cry. I couldn't hold my tears away. It was purging. I felt like I cried out 10 years of pain, like all the trauma since being young, you know? And I couldn't stop. I was crying like a baby. I was just laying there, and the music, and I cried it even more. It was just activating it, and I was just releasing, purging so much sorrow, pain. It was hard. It was hard. The medicine is tough. Now, the crying is just one part of the whole journey. It was beautiful. I cannot explain it with words. The word beautiful doesn't do it, but imagine just the most unconditional love you can experience in that moment. I mean, at one moment, I just looked around and past, present, and future collapsed into one moment. And I look around and I don't see people. I feel myself. It's like I'm in everyone. And you know, I had realizations, thoughts. And I just felt, and when I felt, I look around, or I didn't even look around, I heard other people laughing. It was like everyone was in one mind, thinking the same thoughts. And when it clicked, because it clicked many times, I realized many things. Everyone was just laughing together, or, you know, I don't know if it's a language, because the problem is we try to break down these things in words, but it's impossible. It's impossible. You go to the source code of this whole thing we call life, and you want to bring it back with you. And I was thinking about it. I need to bring it back. And it was like, I had this feeling of me being the creator, not as a separate person, but from a perspective of the whole thing. Me being the creator, and I planted this, it's forbidden thing to bring it back to actual life, because it's a cheat code. It's so crazy. It's like, if you do that, you're gonna rig the system. We're not meant to understand the source code because we're meant to have this human experience. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a human experience. And it blew my mind. And I was like, I had my small GoPro camera and I wanted to take notes, but I couldn't get words out. I was just nodding and I was laughing and people were laughing. It was like we understood the same things because, as I said, it was just one unit, one mind, one source code. And everything that has happened, everything that has been created, everything that was, that is, that will be happen, it was like traveling into the future, but the future was in that moment. I was like, holy shit. I had that sense so many times. If there is something I could bring from my first ayahuasca night, this night I had, it's the key to life is non-resistance. When I stopped resisting sensations, feelings, thoughts, I just merged with this source code, infinite intelligence. Let's call it awareness. I became one. The same thing happened when I stopped breathing. Everything slowed down. It was like I became this awareness. And when I started to breathe again, boom, it was activated. It was in movement. So it was like death and birth with my breath. So breathing is important. Not just, I'm going to breathe. Like, focus on the breathing. You can do breathing exercises. It's really good. Non-resistance. Non-resistance is key. Because life, we don't control life. Life happens. There is no controller. There is just one movement, one flow, one ocean, many waves. Many waves together, one unit. A dance, down, up. So non-resistance, key. Love. Like, if you want to find your way in life, if you want to find the cheat code, you don't need to understand this source code I'm talking about, the game. When I decided to not resist and letting go, which is my third one, everything became unconditional love. So non-resistance and let it go. Let go of trying to understand. Let go of trying to control. Let go of have to, need to, supposed to. It's just one movement. The only thing that exists is just unconditional love, pure awareness, pure intelligence, understanding. And I'm trying I'm sitting here trying to tell you these things, but it's impossible. Impossible is nothing, but it's, you can't break it down with words. There was just this direct experience without words, formless, changeless, unconditional, purity, intelligence, infinite, beautiful. It's beautiful. Looking at the people next to me, I saw human beings, and when I relaxed, when I was letting go, I just merged. It was like I'm merging with these people. You feel so much love in that moment. And I thought, I need to remember this, because it's a thing to drink ayahuasca and experience these kind of things. But it's different to come back to this moment and live. And I think the most important thing is not to actually understand. As I said, let go of understanding, but remembering is really important. Can I remember for that moment that the truth is that we are one? The truth is love. The truth is infinite. We don't die. We're not born. Everything was just this moment. When I said it collapsed into one moment. There is no death and birth. There is just awareness, infinite, nothingness and everything. Nothingness, everything. Creation, destruction. Up, down, movement. So non-resistance, unconditional love, letting go. If you can live with these three things, you're on a good way. You don't have to figure out things. You don't have to be an expert on things. You just have to let your life live itself and become one with it. And when you stop resisting it, you merge, you collapse the separation between me as a separate entity, the doer, the controller, and life. It's just one movement, non-resistance, end of suffering. What do I mean? Something happens. You tell yourself through labels and conditioning, this is wrong, this is right. Creates this resistance, right? Try to change it. And the resistance leads to suffering. Bad emotions, you become angry, frustrated, anxious. You suffer. But if you accept it, you will notice that this thing I told you about, this infinite, unconditional, you can call it wholeness. Wholeness is a good word. You feel whole again. You come back to that. You merge back to your true self. I mean, I can sit all day long talking here. It's not gonna do it. And I didn't find anything new. I don't have the solution, answer to the universe for you. I just have some few messages. And I already knew some of these. Like, I've realized naturally many of these things. But now I got to experience it fully. HD quality. 4K. During a longer period. Not just glimpses of, oh wow. I have had glimpses these past months of being in the present moment. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, as a man, we're so hard, you know. We should be hard. We should be cold, you know. But we're just kids, man. We are just kids. When I was crying, I was like, I'm just a kid. I felt like a kid again. Like, bro, you have been so hard to yourself all these years, suffering for what? To prove a point to the world that you're hard? You're not hard. You're good. You are good. Don't hold your emotions back. You're sensitive. Feel it, man. Fuck. It's so ridiculous. So, I'm just here now with beautiful people, and in a couple of hours I will take the Bufo. And I was afraid yesterday of Bufo because Bufo is the hardest thing on earth. It's like, that thing slaps you out. It's like ego death times 100. And you you come back to the start of the whole thing, life. And you understand everything in one instant that is not even time. And then you come back and you be like, ah, like that. Ah. Liberated, newborn. But yeah, I'm not that nervous because Ayahuasca helped me to release it. I did a retreat 7-8 months ago, and I remember the fear. But now I experience that ego death, the sense of dissolving my body and merging with this infinite source, with me, my true self again. And for the first time, actually, I didn't feel fear. because many times you can feel fear towards it because you don't know what it is. It's unknown, your ego. You've never been in your true self. You're used to being your ego. When I say your ego, you have an identity that you have built up over the years. And suddenly it's gone. So who are you? Who am I? I asked that question, who am I? There was no answer. There was just no words. It's like, I will put that GIF. It's like that GIF is just nodding. I had that moment 100 times during the night. It was like, we know, you know. Don't try to take it back. You can't take it back. It's like running in a dream, trying to run in a dream. That's what happened when I tried to bring when I felt I cracked the code. It was like, no, you don't go anywhere. But I realized this morning that it's not a punishment of you can't explain it to people or you can't bring that with you. It's because our minds can't break it down. And this is something interesting that came to me now. During the ceremony, during these moments, I had a feeling, a sense of you can't bring it with you to explain it, but you can show it. If you want the world to know, you can show it. Art, creativity, like this. Me sitting here, just being me, being a good person. What is a good person? A good person is a person who is connected to himself, herself. When you show up for people with the absence of thought and ego and just be there in the present moment, you dissolve past and it's just this moment. Your conditioning about the person, non-existent. You show, you guide, you don't tell, you show, you be an example. Rumi said it best. He said, yesterday I was clever, I wanted to change the world. No, he said something like that. I will put it in the video. Today, the idea is, don't try to change the world. Change yourself and the world will change with you because you are the world. Anyways, I will stop here. I think this is it. Maybe I will have some more things to explain, but I will create notes and yeah, I will put this together into the documentary that I'm creating. Much love, people, much love. I love you all. Whoever listens to this, I love you, man or woman. I'm used to say man. Don't take it like literally. But yeah, so much love. I'm gonna go inside now and enjoy some breakfast and just be there with the people. Okay, guys, end of the story.